Hey guys, welcome to the next video on fundamentals, and today we're going to talk about custom audiences. If you've already started the fundamentals section, you know we just talked about the pixel and how powerful that pixel is. We talked about some of the updates to the new Facebook pixel, how to install it, all the basics, right? So the reason the pixel is so important is really because you can build audiences on top of it, right? So with the Facebook pixel, you can now create these really powerful custom audiences. And really the custom audiences it's the bridge between the pixel and your actual ad campaigns and retargeting, right? So the pixel supplies the data, the custom audiences allows you to take that data and build segments of people that you can actually now run ads to those segments. And so in today's video, we're going to kind of hop in. Let me make sure. I probably should have put this on mute before we started, right? But phone's always on. So what I'm going to show you today is kind of all the custom audiences that I set up for every one of my campaigns. So typically when I start a new account or a new store, a new brand, a new client, we'll come in here once we set the pixel up and we really go to town creating custom audiences. So I want to make sure from day one that we have all of our audiences built out. Now you don't need to have them built out from day one. If your pixel is installed and your custom events are set up and your standard events are set up, you're going to be storing that data and tracking that data. So you can backdate it when you come in and create audiences. That being said, I like to come in, I like to do it all at once. That way I know it's there, ready to go. It's organized. It's not kind of spread out all over the place. I did a page view audience here, a video view audience 50% over here. It just makes it easy, right? So we have a system that we stick to and we just go through it. So that's what I'm going to show you today. So again, we're in our business manager. This is really our home base for everything, and we're going to do a business manager course or segment of the course in a few episodes. So when you hop in here, you have your frequently used, your plan, create, manage, measure, report, assets, and settings. So under assets, audiences. When you click audiences, you hop right into here. So you have this great little dashboard. Right up here, you see all the audiences that have been created. So as you can see, for Startup Drugs, we've created quite a bit of audiences over time. We've deleted a lot. So there used to be a lot more in here, but we've deleted a lot. We started to filter a lot out. Some of these that you see are not native to Facebook in terms of kind of out of the box. Some of them involve a more advanced thing called a Power Pixel that we're going to talk about towards the end of the course under tools. So ignore these things right here. Ignore those for the time being. We'll circle back with the Power Pixel and talk about them there. So I'm going to hop in here. And the first thing you want to do is create a custom audience, right? So when you get into here, you really have 4 options of custom audiences. And really only 3 are relevant for 95% of people that are probably watching this course. You have your customer file, which is where you're actually going to take CSV files or copy and paste of actual customer data and put it right into Facebook. So we're actually going to take that data, import it to Facebook. So we might have a customer CSV from an old store, from a current store, and manually import that. So customer file, you'd come in here, you'd say, okay, I want to add all customers from my own CSV. Click there, and you drop a file in there. Or if it's a small audience, you can copy and paste it in there. Once you upload everything, you're going to be able to actually then mark all the columns in your CSV file and try to attribute as many of them to the 15 identifiers that Facebook has as possible. So the more of these identifiers you can give Facebook, the greater the match rate's going to be. So the match rate is essentially where Facebook's able to take all this data you're giving it to them and match it with the corresponding Facebook profile of that person, because it needs to know who the profile is so I can actually show the ad to them. So if you only have a phone number or you only have an email, you're going to be able to match a good amount, but you're probably not going to match everybody. The more things you give them, if you give them email, phone number, city, year of birth, date of birth, gender, age, all these variables will help narrow it down and help Facebook do a better job of matching people. So that's really important when you upload your CSV, to try to have as many of these pieces of data as possible. So we're going to go back because we're obviously not creating one right now. The other option for a custom audience for a customer file is importing from MailChimp. So there's a native integration between Facebook and MailChimp. You click import from MailChimp, and essentially it's going to connect to your account. You authenticate it, and then you could select a list you want to import from. And this is great for a few reasons. So if you use MailChimp, you know that over the last few months, they've been rolling out a lot more native e-commerce integrations with Shopify and other top platforms. So now you can build out kind of more robust segments in your list in MailChimp, things like first-time buyers, buyers of a certain dollar amount and more, really valuable segments that you can then import and create audiences around. So if I want to create an audience of people that have just spent $100 or more on my store, I can import them into MailChimp more easily than having to download the CSV and manually filter it out. The third, and this is the most exciting, this is a really new feature, and I doubt many courses out there actually have anything about this in them because this is such a new feature. Literally, we're talking weeks old. So the customer lifetime value field in custom audiences is huge. So essentially now what you're able to do is when you export that CSV from, let's say, Shopify, you're going to have a column that shows total dollars spent, right? Most e-com stores are going to show that to you when you export it. So it's going to show you how much has been spent by that customer over the lifetime of them being a customer with you. The reason this is important now is Facebook essentially is going to take this extra column and now it's going to compare all those customer files, all of those individual customers, and it's going to see what the top customers have in common. So let's say you have 5,000 customers, right? And out of that 5,000, maybe 10% have spent more than $1,000 lifetime with you. Those are the people that Facebook wants to find when it's optimizing its ads, when it's building lookalikes. That's the cream of the crop. That's the best customer. And so Facebook now is essentially able to see, okay, these are the best customers based on lifetime value. These are kind of the average customers. So now I'm going to hone in on these people, find out what these people have in common and what these people have in common. And now I'm going to focus on these commonalities. So essentially from a optimization standpoint, this is making your ads much, much more effective. What I've noticed from just testing this is that my CPA has kind of stayed consistent. When I say CPA, I'm talking cost per acquisition. So what I'm paying to acquire a customer has stayed relatively consistent. In some cases, it might have actually increased a little bit. But what I'm finding is the average order value of these customers is higher and the repeat purchase rate is higher. And from me, my standpoint, that's the most important thing, right? I think too many people get caught up in trying to decrease CPA, increase conversion rate. And those are great, right? Those are front-end metrics and they're very important. However, at some point, you can't get the CPA any lower. You can't get the conversion rate any higher. You always can improve conversion rate, but it just gets exponentially more difficult. However, if you can focus on the other side of it, there's a lot of kind of low-hanging fruit on the AOV side of things and the repeat purchase rate side of things that you can do to increase those numbers. So it might be hard to decrease your CPA 10% at this point, but it might be pretty easy to increase your AOV 10% by adding an upsell. Or it might be easy to increase your repeat purchase rate by 10% by just adding a follow-up email sequence or a post-purchase retargeting sequence, which we'll talk about further in the course. So it's making it more effective for lookalikes and for optimizing your ad based on purchase data. So really important stuff, this new CLTV feature from custom audiences. So that's your kind of first bucket of custom audiences is the customer file. Now we have website traffic, and this is where most of your custom audiences will probably be built under. It's the most robust. It kind of pulls in most of the data, and this is where most people play in this area. So this is kind of a new interface actually Facebook just rolled out for website custom audiences. You can now switch between pixels. So if you have multiple pixels for multiple ad accounts, you can choose right here. And now I can come in here and say, okay, I want to build a custom audience of all my website visitors over the past 30 days, or over the past 2 days, or over the past 180 days. And that's it. So that's a very big audience. That's all my traffic. But that's not really helpful, right? So typically what we like to do is we like to build audiences around 2-day, 7-day, 14-day, 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, 180 days. Those are kind of the age ranges. And we like to do that for everything from page view to view content. So page view is your broadest category. It's your broadest bucket. That's anybody that's visited your website is going to be a page view. And that's kind of the least effective retargeting point to have there. I actually just turned on my foot massager by accident, so sorry for that noise. View content is a step further kind of down the funnel. And so view content is the event that's fired typically when somebody views a important page. So for ecom and Shopify, that's a product page. So when I'm looking to retarget, I don't want to just retarget everybody that visited my store because some people might have visited the home page or a collection page and left and really didn't express any interest in any individual product. So they're not that hot of a prospect for me. But if somebody actually visited a product page, so they visited the website, visited a collection page, clicked on a product and looked at a product page, they're a little warmer for me. So I really only start my retargeting at a view content level. We typically don't pay for any retargeting at a page view level. So really view content is where it starts. We'll still create audiences for this just because when you're starting out, you might not have a lot of traffic. So you might need to go a little broader. Add to cart, one more step along the funnel. So abandoned cart recovery is a huge reason why retargeting is so powerful. And that's one of the most common use cases is abandoned cart recovery. So add to cart, we'll typically run a 2-day, 7-day, and 14-day campaign for that. But again, remember, for all of these events, we do 2, 7, 14, 30, 60, 90, 180 for all of them, just to have them for inclusions and exclusions. We do a purchase, obviously. Initiate checkout. This is probably one of the easiest audiences to convert, and a lot of people only do add to cart retargeting. We actually take it a step further and we do initiate checkout, because that's a much warmer prospect. They didn't just add to the cart, they actually started the checkout process and left. And typically those people left because, hey, maybe something came up, maybe they got a phone call, or they had to go to a meeting, or whatever the reason is. It's much easier to tip them back over. So initiate checkout, huge one. Add payment info is another one, that they're kind of in the checkout process but didn't finish. And again, there's a lot more events that are fired now with the new Pixel. And so those are the big ones that we do. Again, to recap, we do a page view, we do a view content, we do an add to cart, purchase, initiate checkout. Those are really the core website events. This is an e-com store, so if we were also doing a funnel or a lead magnet or lead generation, the lead event would be here as well, and usually a complete registration. So those two events would also be in here. They're just not in here right now because this is a e-com store and we don't have a lead event firing on the site just because we don't do it for this store. So that's at a high level where we're doing a lot of our audiences for that. There's other things that you can do. So not just event-based, but I can do it by people who visit specific web pages. So if you want to build audiences around people that read a specific blog or watch a specific video, sorry, it's a tongue twister for me, you can do that here. So I can say people visited a specific web page, the URL contains this keyword, or equals this keyword, or excludes this keyword. So this is great for if you're driving traffic to individual blogs and want to retarget based on people that read those blogs. This is how you go about doing it. And again, we do the same time frame windows there. And then there's another one, visitors by time spent. And this is really effective because, honestly, a lot of the traffic you're getting to your store is potentially bot traffic or traffic that bounces right off the bat. So that means people that went to the site and left within 3 seconds. So you don't want to waste any money retargeting them. They clearly were in the wrong place. They clicked the wrong link. It's not for them. So I don't want to waste any money retargeting those people. I want to focus on the people that have spent the most amount of time on my site without completing the desired action. And so with this audience, I can do that. So I can build an audience that says, I want to retarget just the top 25% of my visitors in the past 180 days or 2 days or whatever the window is. And so Facebook's going to look at time spent on site and other metrics, and they're going to bucket people. And so now I start with 25%. Maybe I want to really narrow it down. Maybe I'm a high traffic site, got a lot of traffic coming in, and I just want to focus on my top 5%, my best prospects. And so this is really a powerful tool. One of my favorite new tools over the last few months that's come out with Facebook. They released this kind of advanced website custom audience about a year ago, but public rollout a few months ago. So this is a great feature, and it's a great way to weed out your low quality audience and focus just on the hot prospects. So that's time on site. And again, from here, you can also include more or you can exclude. So if you really want to get advanced here, you can come in and you can include people that spent the top 5% of your site and exclude people that purchased. So you're really building advanced audiences here where it's only including people that did this action and it's not including people that did this action. And you can do this while you're actually building your ad set out, or you can do it ahead of time in the actual audience creation. The reason I typically don't like to do exclusions at this level is that if then when you're building an ad set, you want to exclude something additionally, you can't exclude from an audience that already has an include and exclude. So I just add some complexity. So typically I make these just one level, and then I do the exclusions actually when I'm building the campaign out. So that's the website traffic. App activity I'm not going to cover because a lot of people, this is very specific to app builders. I can follow up on this if there's a lot of demand, but right now I'm going to skip it. And so the final bucket is engagement. So engagement on Facebook. This is one of the newer buckets for custom audiences, and it's really powerful. So essentially now what you have the ability to do is create audiences based on how people engage, how long they engage, and what they're engaging with on your page, on your ads, on your posts, on your content. So for example, you can build out video audiences. So let's say I want to build an audience of people. I'm running a video ad, or I did an organic post with a video, and it's educational video, and I really want to retarget people that watch 95% of the video. I can come in here and say, I want to retarget people who watch 95% of my video, and I can actually come in here and go to my page and select the video. So I can come in, go to Startup Drugs, and there'll be a list of all the videos that I've run. I can check I can check individual videos, or I can check all the videos that I want, confirm, and now it's going to build an audience that's dynamically updated and backdated of people that have watched 95% of this video over a period of time. So typically, again, I like to do the same time frames here, except I also do a 365. 180 is the cap for most audiences. Engagement audiences, you can go 365. So this is a really powerful audience type. It's great for a campaign I'm going to show you down the course called the video ad funnel. We'll kind of dive back into this. But this is great. So this lets you build out audiences of your warmest prospects based on how much video they consumed. So that's the video. From a lead ad perspective, you can actually build out audiences of people that have opened the form, completed the form, and opened but didn't submit the form. So 3 different buckets of audiences. You can select the native lead ad template that you're using, the actual lead form. So you can actually build out audiences around native lead ads. And we'll talk about native lead ads in a little bit. Canvas, another ad unit, not as popular, hasn't really taken off, but there are some cool use cases here. So Canvas, again, similar to the lead ad audience, you can do people open the canvas, people clicked any of the links in the canvas, and build engagement audiences there. The big one is Facebook page. So this lets you build audiences around multiple criteria. So I can do anybody who engaged my page. That means they liked a post, they messaged it, they saved a video, whatever the criteria is. Big bucket. Anybody who visited my page, people who actually engage with the post or ad. This is a great audience that we use a lot for our ads, especially early on. We don't have that many sales or traffic. Typically, we like to build audiences around engagement. And if it's not a controversial topic, like a political topic, this audience is usually very relevant because it's people that are interested enough in the content of the ad that they're willing to engage with it, meaning they commented on it, they liked it, or they shared it. So those are usually our hottest prospects. So the people that are not just the most relevant and engaged, but also the people that are most likely to share stuff and engage with content, which is great. So if I want to run ads to people and I have 2 buckets of people that are both kind of quality prospects, but one of those prospects shares a lot more stuff on Facebook and engages with a lot more stuff on Facebook, I want to hit those people because the likelihood of them sharing my next ad or my next post is a lot higher. So that's a great audience. Then we have people who clicked any call to action buttons. People actually click the buy now button on your ad. People send a message to your page. People saved your page or any post. So these audiences are great, especially while you're getting started and you don't have much traffic to your site. It's a great place to start of people that are interested in your brand. They're a little kind of higher in the funnel because they haven't gone to your site, they haven't added to the cart, they haven't bought yet. They're kind of in the awareness phase. So this is a great audience to retarget with ads that are pushing them further down the funnel. So actually pitching product, kind of following up with educational material, building credibility with video testimonials or third-party validation. So this is a great bucket to do a lot of retargeting on. And I've had a lot of great results with it. So these are kind of the 4 buckets of custom audiences. Next module, we're actually going to talk about how do I leverage these audiences. So how do I build lookalikes on top of them? How do I actually analyze the data with analytics? How do I do retargeting? And we're going to talk more about the video engagement audiences for the video ad funnel. So this is a really great foundation, and we're going to use this as a launch point for a lot more content. So I hope you enjoyed this module on custom audiences.